My son just got me fixed up with Pandora for music and all.
How nice.
This is Facebook, and I've got all my grandchildren on here. I can talk to them and see them.
That's great.
And
Okay, we're
That's
good.
fine. Yep.
All right, we're good.
So just tell me some more about all the countries again, because we didn't get that on the recording, and I wanted to hear about your trip from Alabama and all the way around.
okay. My Army trip began in Auburn, Alabama, when I got my orders to report up to Fort McPherson in Atlanta. From Atlanta, while in Atlanta, I got my dog tags, I got my Army serial number, and I got my uniforms. Took a lot of testing there, and from there, I went to Gulfport, Mississippi for basic training, then to Fort Collins, Colorado, to Colorado A&M University for technical administrative school, Air Force administrative.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. How long is basic training?
Basic training was 2 months.
2 months, all right. Thank you.
Most of the things were month or 2 months in
Okay.
all areas.
Uh-huh.
And after basic training, I went to Colorado, which was up near Cheyenne and along the Rocky Mountains, beautiful country. And I went to a Air Force technical school there. And then they shipped me to Pope Field in North Carolina, part of, it was a staging area that I was waiting for further orders. And from there, I got orders to go to Herbert Smart Airport, which I thought was kind of weird.
Where is that?
That was in Macon, Georgia.
Oh, in Macon, okay.
And I thought, well, they're going to send me on an airplane to somewhere.
Uh-huh.
But it turned out that it was where my squadron was formed.
Oh, I see.
And we were waiting. We had got 200 enlisted men and 10 officers. And after we got organized there, they sent us down to Fort Benning, Georgia for parachute training.
How was that?
That was good. That was not personnel parachutes. That was cargo parachutes.
Oh, uh-huh.
Cargo chutes are made out of old cotton material, where personnel chutes are silk material, very nice. And we stayed there about 2 months and learned all about the construction of these chutes, and also how to use them on packages. When we dropped some of the packages, we would have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 parachutes on it.
How hard does it land? What's the impact?
Oh, it's very easy. We never flew over 200 feet.
Uh-huh.
Very, very close to the ground.
Okay.
Our airplanes never had any rear doors because everything was pushed out of the airplane when we got over the drop zone.
Yep.
And so we would make a pass over the drop zone and then 180 degrees, come back and finish unloading everything. We had three men went on the airplanes as what we call kickers. We had one person would get on his back on the floor of the airplane, hold on to the fuselage, and one man on this side and one man on that side of whatever package we wanted to drop. And when we'd get the signal from the pilot that we were over the drop zone, we would push. And the man on the floor would push with his feet and the other two with their arms. Very crude.
But effective.
Yeah, but very effective. Everybody was waiting on ammunition, radio equipment, cigarettes, and food supplies.
Yep.
And we dropped them to the Merrill's Marauders, which was an infantry outfit that fought on the land in Burma.
Very famous.
They were
Merrill's Marauders.
Yes, and then they had a tough time. It was bad in the jungles all the time, I got word not long ago that they got a congressional medal just recently.
Wonderful.
All those people.
They earned it.
They did. They earned it.
Yeah.
And we would make sometimes 2 and 3 trips by air to deliver packages, whatever was required.
I bet they were glad to see you.
Yep, they were. And we did that until the Merrill Marauders got the Japanese to give up in southern Burma. And we moved on down to the next place where the war was over when we moved to the next location. And what we did there was to transfer or to fly all of the equipment, maintenance equipment, gasoline, airplane tires, any kind of airplane parts over the Himalaya mountains into China and give it to the Chinese.
Oh.
So we gave everything we had left in Burma
to the Chinese. Did everybody know that the war was over?
It did. We did get. It took about 2 days to get word to us.
Right.
And it was interesting and happy news to us.
You bet.
We were there for VJ Day and also for our holiday. And after we got all of our equipment into China, we had to deactivate all of our squadrons in Burma and China and India before the troops could come home. You had to go to a squadron. They had to turn in all of their equipment and all of their trucks, jeeps, or whatever rolling stock they had, all of their guns and ammunition, and then we would package up all of the documentation that squadron had.
And take it to China?
No, I took it back to Burma, or to one location in Burma, a warehouse, and it ended up in Kansas City, where all the documentation is.
I didn't know that. Is it still there?
Yes. I think it is. I hadn't heard they moved it.
Oh.
So we would do our work with each squadron. When we finished what we had to do, then they could go home.
Right.
And
say they were decommissioned?
yes.
Is that the term? Yes.
Deactivated is the terminology used.
Okay.
I was asked to do that, to stay and assist that kind of operation, but I had enough points to come home, and I'd been sleeping on canvas cots so long and eating dehydrated foods.
Yep.
Oh, I said, no, I'm going home. They gave me the choice.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I'm glad they did.
So anyway, that's the way my service ended in Burma, and then they flew us down to Calcutta to get on a boat. And the boat that we got on was the Marine Wolf. It was a military boat, carried about 2,000 troops. And as we backed out of the harbor, the pilot backed over a buoy and ruined the buoy.
I'm sure.
And so we had only one buoy, one propeller left.
Oh.
So we came home at 10 knots an hour,
gracious.
It took us 32 days
Oh,
to come home.
a memory of the war.
Yeah, it was slow boat to
Slow
China
boat to
in
China.
reverse.
That's right. That's great.
In reverse.
Well, thank you so much for that catch up. We just needed to hear the end of the story. That's a great end of your great trip.
Well, it took us, as I say, 32 days, and went down the Malacca Straits around Singapore into the Philippines to get more food. We had run out of food, and then we went to Honolulu, and for a couple of days, and to get more food to get us to California. In California, we went out from Los Angeles to an army base and waited on a troop train that carried us to Mississippi
Wow.
for discharge.
Good grief.
You remember every day of that trip, I'll bet.
I do.